Here I go again. Hi, I'm Jesse. Welcome back to JaffyDuck Productions. Today I'm going to be recapping, reviewing, and rating this week's episode of DC's Legends of Tomorrow. It is Season 3, Episode 11, called Here I Go Again. So, this episode is Zari finds her place on the team while she gets caught in a time loop that results in the Wave Rider blowing up over and over again. So, yeah, let's get started. Now, hence the joke at the beginning, I actually recorded this with no audio earlier today. So, I'm going to be trying this again, and like I said, here I go again. Alright, so the episode opens with Zari and Gideon kind of bickering between the two of themselves. Zari's supposed to be doing a routine maintenance check on Gideon. While she's doing this, though, she's actually doing an upgrade to Gideon with some sort of code she wrote herself. Alright, so go through that. The bickering, she does it anyways, even though Gideon really doesn't want her to. And she short-circuits Gideon. And so Gideon's down. The team returns from their mission. They were in the 70s, I believe, trying to stop Napoleon Bonaparte from listening to Waterloo and going back with the memory of how he lost. I should have looked up the song. I have no idea what's about. Anyway, so they all come back. Amaya and Nate are acting weird. Ray's trying to calm down the captain, and Mick's complaining about the French. Anyways, so that goes all the way through. So Sarah finds out that Zari tried to upgrade Gideon, and what the upgrade would be is it's a piece of code that would help them locate other time loops in history, but other shortcuts in history, kind of like she did with Helena of Troy. So Helena of Troy disappeared at a certain time during the Battle of Troy, and then was just never seen again. So what it was is Zari actually took her to Themyscira in the same time, thus making a loophole for herself. And she's trying to find more of these, something that they can move one person from one point in time into another so that she can save her own time. She's trying to find a loophole, and this program will do it for her. Of course, Sarah's not happy with this. She's taken a long time to come to terms with not trying to save her sister, and this would definitely bring that up again. Alright, so we cut from Sarah doing this, so she orders Zari to go back to fix Gideon. Zari gets angry, being passive-aggressive and just bitchy towards Sarah, and Sarah's getting angry, says something like, "I'm gonna kill her," and Ray tries to stop her, and it was a terrible pratfall because he fell in the, not heels he was wearing, but go-go boots he was wearing, and yeah. Oh, yeah, of course, they're all dressed up. Mick was in, like, 17th century French outfit and French garb, and the other ones were in 70s, like, music group thing. And, yeah, they make a joke about Amaya and Nate missing their big encore presentation and wondering where they were. Wink, wink. Like, that's not subtle even in the slightest. So they, but yeah, and of course, Ray tries to stop Sarah, and he falls. It's such a bad pratfall. I believe it was the way this one was edited. We'll get back to that in a moment. Anyways, so yeah, Zari goes to fix Gideon after complaining about doing so. And then she's doing a bunch of stuff, and she gets sprayed with this green gunk, this time gunk, and then gets sprayed with it, puts the hose back to where it belongs. Like, it was like releasing the pressure so the clog would go. Anyways, she got that done, plugged it back in, and the next thing she sees is the time rider, the Wave Rider blowing up. And then she's back talking to Sarah on the bridge. And Mick's like, "I hate the French. smashes it. She gets in an argument with Sarah again, and she's going through. So instead of going right down to fix Gideon, she goes, walks through. It's like anybody else getting deja vu. She talks to a couple different people. Over here is Nate and Amaya talking about how they hooked up, and it could have put the mission in jeopardy, so they should act more professional around each other, and blah 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 blah. Forget it ever happened. Yeah. So from there, and she talks to Ray, and he says, a happy captain is a happy ship. And so yeah, Ray's very determined to make sure Sarah remains happy. I honestly may have forgotten why Ray would be acting like this, but it comes up later in the episode, so we'll get to that then. So Maya goes back down, fixes Gideon, ship blows up again, she starts all over again. And, of course, before the wave rider blows up for the second time in Zari's face, she goes, "Mamma mia, here I go again." Anyways, probably the only ABBA song I know. And I don't know it very well. Anyways, she only says the one line. Beyond that, so she's the only one that's remembering. Her loop starts again, and this time she tries to talk to them, and they think she's gone crazy, so they drag her down to the med bay, put her in her bed, knock her out. She resets again and again and again, enough times that she develops a tolerance for the fucking knockout meds, and yeah, so she wakes up this time before the ship explodes, and High kind of stumbles out of the med bay, talks to Nate, and she's like, "Oh, I'm stuck in a time loop." Nate goes, "Oh, so kind of like Groundhog Day," and she's like, "What? What's that?" And he's like, "Remember this. Remember Groundhog Day. Find me when the loop resets again. Tell me that one word, and I'll believe you." So, loop resets a little bit after that. He explodes. I think it would have actually been a better directing choice for him to pause, wait for the explosion, and then it not to explode. And he had a few extra minutes. Anyways, but that didn't happen. It immediately exploded behind him as he said this. So she finds him after the next loop resets, after him and Amaya are done talking, having a little professional chat. And then she finds him, she's like, "Hedgehog Day." Alright, he's like, "What?" "Oh, I didn't, oh my god, you told me to remember this word, it was Hedgehog Day, and you told me you'd help me, I'm stuck in a time loop." And he's like, "Oh, you mean Groundhog Day." And she's like, "Oh, yes. So, what can I do to help? What's happening?" And Mama's like, "Really? Like, why were you going to do this?" And he's like, "What else is a friend supposed to do?" And she just kind of blows right past it and starts. So they start trying to figure out what's happening. They decide to start following people. The first one they do is Amaya / Mick, and they see them in the food gallery. Mick's about to do laundry, and he wipes his mind because he had Waterloo stuck in his head. So he goes, little time Men in Black type flashy thing that they used for that they got off the Time Bureau, or got off the Time Bureau. They stole it. I can't remember how they got it, but I'm pretty certain they stole it. Anyway, so he uses it to wipe his memory of the song, and it worked. Like, it wasn't so much wiped his memory, it just kind of reset his mind for a few days. Anyways, so Amaya gets an idea, she looks at it, takes it with her, and Nate goes after her, and Ray comes up to talk to Zari, and he's a happy captain, it's a happy ship, and so Zari decides to go follow Nate. They want, Amaya's idea is to wipe their memory of the event so that they can forget about it and then start acting professionally with each other. And then they're like, "Oh, well, if we're going to do that, we might as well do it again." So they start getting it on, and the ship explodes, and reset. So, explains it to Nate what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. So they follow Mick this time. They go through Mick's room, and they oh my god, so apparently Mick likes to booby trap his room, so Nate steps on a bear trap, reset. Nate starts to open a chest, this random chest, gets electrocuted. Um, they hack it, open the chest, get sprayed in the face with ink. In the chest is an old typewriter and a book, a novel. Mick is writing. Mick is writing a sci-fi romance novel. So that leaves Mick and Amaya clear. So I don't know why Zari automatically assumed that it was somebody blowing up the ship when she was dicking around with Gideon's systems and they blew up afterwards. Let the thy known ass first, lady. Anyways, so yeah, next option is Ray. So they go right up to Ray, and they're like, "Where you've been hiding?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm not. Oh, of course I'm gonna tell you. Not of course I'm gonna tell you. It's no, I haven't been high. Oh, you've broken me down." Constantine told me before he left, if Sarah ever got possessed by Mollis again, I'm to kill her with the gun I've made for the anti-magic bullets. And they're like, "Oh, that's why you've been acting so weird." And the guy blow right past it. Alright, so next up is to follow Sarah. They tell Ray what's happening because he's like that, and he's like, "Oh, it's like TNG, Star Trek, The Next Generation. What's the episode called? Cause and Effect." And it's very nice that they threw a Star Trek reference in. They don't usually throw Star Trek references in. It's usually all Star Wars, George Lucas and all that. I think it'd be quite interesting if they end up doing a Star Trek episode, kind of like they did with Star Wars. Anywho, let's keep going. So Sarah's turn. They're using Ray, so Ray and Zari go and follow Sarah. They follow her to the shuttle, and she's having a little Skype date with Agent Sharp, and they're just like kind of updating each other, flirting, blah blah blah. Agent Sharp offers to come over, talk it out because she's having problems with Zari, and like Agent Sharp is a higher up agent. She's in charge of everybody, i.e. Gary. So yeah, Agent Sharp understands it, and Agent Sharp gets it. So that's why she's talking about it. Like, she doesn't really have a problem with Zari. She thinks she believes Zari is an important member of the team. Like, she thinks Zari is irreplaceable. Like, Zari is a good part. Like, she has power. She's strong-willed. She's a lot like Sarah in some respects. And she has computer skills. They need all of this. And she does believe Zari's a good person, good for the team. But she's just a pain in the fucking ass. And they can't find a middle ground with each other. So, of course, Sarah's pissed, ranting about this, refuses to let Sharp, like, kind of backs away from Sharp actually coming in person to visit, and it's, yeah. Yep, so she just hears a buzzing. She goes to swat Ray and Zari. She actually swats Ray. Like, yeah, Ray's not dead if she swatted Ray. But yeah, so we go from there, we reset again. Zari's like, "I've tried so much, I don't know what else to do." And Nate tells her, "Have fun." So, as usual, in a time loop episode, we have a fun montage. And doing a bunch of things. She wears the Hawk Girl's helmet. She learns to play violin. She reads Mick's book, which apparently is actually pretty good. Needs a little bit of work, but he's getting there. It's his first time writing. So fun montage over, and she's tired of it. She's sick and tired. So she goes up to Nate again, Groundhog Day, blah, blah, blah. Alright, nothing's fun anymore. And he's like, "Oh no, how long have you been here?" Anyways, so she's like, "Maybe this one," and goes and tries to shoot herself with Mick's antique pistol. And she pulls the trigger, doesn't work. And so Sarah steps in, trying to calm her down. She, desperate, and actually emotional and force behind her words. She confesses to everybody what is happening. And Sarah brings them all to the bridge. Now they're all on the same fucking page, and they go to figure out what's going to happen. Ship's going to blow up in an hour. That's all you need to know. So, ship's about to blow up in an hour. That's all you need to know. They're in the gallery trying to figure out what else there is. And Maya's like, Zari's like, all right, I've checked here, 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 here. I checked all the rooms, and Mick's like, check my room. Yeah. Anyways, so somebody throws something in the trash compactor. That thing gets thrown back up. Something's in the trash compactor. They go down to the trash compactor, open it up. Hey, there's Gary. He has something called a chrono repeater, which he pulls out of his pocket immediately in front of Mick, who immediately takes it and destroys it. That chrono repeater puts himself in a time loop. What he was is he came a few minutes before the explosion to try to talk to everybody about that, like, they got a warning that the Wave Rider exploded at such and such a time. So Gary came over to help them out, put them in a time loop, and then got stuck in the trash compactor because he can't aim a transporter. So of course, Mick's already destroyed the thing, so they're there to suffer real death now. So it's a bomb planted on the ship. Since the only thing brought back on the ship was the 8-track tape of Waterloo that Mick brought pretty much just to stomp on, it had a bomb in it. They find it, they can't disarm it, and it's too close to the end of the time, and they can't eject it because Gideon is still down. So what it is they've got a problem now. They got a bomb, they can't really get rid of it because, yeah. So Zari grabs it, runs into the captain's chamber that has its own force field, puts up the force field, it's kind of like a panic room. Puts up the force field, and she's going to go down, and hopefully the force field will be enough to contain it. Ray doesn't think it is, so Nate steals up, Maya rhinos out, and they go at that thing, and they are not able to tear down that force field. Zari is willing to sacrifice herself. She gives a beautiful, heartfelt speech about, Sarah, go for it, you can't do it alone, so go for Agent Sharp. Ray tells Sarah what you've been hiding. Nate and Maya let feelings for each other go. Gary, do you have anything heartfelt to tell me? No, Gary. Why? Gary, shut up. Anyways, so she activates her wind totem and she's trying to contain the explosion. Boom, flash, back on the bridge again. She's not dead. So, turns out this was all a dream, or actually, it was all a simulation that Gideon had put her in, because the simulation that she was trying to run to figure out the loopholes in history, to hack history, that she was trying to figure out, determined that to do such a thing, specifically to do anything to do with 2042, which is, I believe, where she comes from, she would have to do anything in 2042 like that, she would have to do it, sorry, I'm trying to think, she would have to be on the Wave Rider to help do it, to help affect this change. And to do that, she would need to get along with the crew. And yeah, if she kept butting heads the way she was with Sarah, she would have left the ship, or Sarah would have killed her. Gideon didn't say it. Implied. So, but yeah, that would have been the end result. Sarah either would have killed her or kicked her off the ship. And yeah, so that's so Gideon put her in her own her own simulation to figure out a way to deal with being with the Legends. And so this brought her to a point where she could work with the Legends and work together. And yeah, so Gideon did this. Gideon appreciates her, and yeah. So Gideon's like, this was all real, well, to a degree. So Mick writing that book is real. Nate and Maya, well, that was obvious that was going to happen. Like, Gideon was down when they had that little me and Maya got distracted by something moment. So, um, but yeah, they would. It's obvious those two would get together. She definitely overheard Constantine and Ray, and she's overhearing um, Sarah and Agent Sharp, like all the stuff she would know, um, which is kind of creepy and awesome. But it's a ship, and she's awesome. So, oh, and I blew right past it. We get to see the actress behind Gideon's voice. Please bring her on more. She's awesome. I would really like them to do something like in Mass Effect when Edie, the ship's AI, got a chance to have her own body, like something along those lines. I would love to see that. That's besides the point. So she explains this all to Zari. She explains that of all everything, Gary got stuck in the trash compactor. Like, what was the point behind that? She's like, it's funny. And Zari says, what does Zari say to her? Oh, she's terrified and in awe of Gideon. You're an evil genius and a bit of a perv. And yeah, it was just funny to have. And so, after that conversation, Zari wakes up in the med bay. She's feeling better. She's a little loopy. She has that Dorothy moment. I had a dream, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there. And Gideon put me in a simulation. And Gideon's like, no, I didn't. I have no idea what you're talking about, Miss something. And they're like, yeah, sure, Gideon put... All right, I'll prove it. Ray, what did Constantine tell you? And Ray's like, how'd you know that? Tell Sarah. Sarah's like, what did Constantine tell you? And Ray's like, confesses that Constantine asked him to kill her if Mollis ever took over. Sarah's like, that's a good idea. I want you to keep working on it, and you're going to need more than just yourself to help if this ever happens. So, yeah. So, Zari and Sarah sit down. They have a bonding moment. Sarah with her like, this is something you should be worried about her sister. Sarah says something very important. It's, your past is my future. And to me, the past is set in stone, but the future is malleable. So, that makes sense. Like, if you know what the future is going to be like, or if you have respect, you can change it. So they can change what happens in Zari's future. So, the hellscape that it was, and run by police by Argus. So random. Anyway, so she has a nice moment with everybody else. That was just to reflect upon her deep, like, confessional moment earlier on in the episode. It kind of like negates it a bit. Anyway, so she has a moment with Nate and Maya. Get together instead of just trying to hide it and thing. You guys are going to wipe each other's memory. You've already wiped each other's memories, or you're going to. And then she has a moment with Mick where she helps him with the end of his book. The ending seems a little maybe try a little bit of this. This is what this character would do. And then, yeah. That pretty much is how that part of the episode wraps up. Now, on to the final scene. I have feelings about this. Final scene is our dear Wally West, Kid Flash, meditating on a mountaintop in China. Yes, he's doing this while his brother-in-law and the Flash of Central City is in jail, while there is a supervillain in his hometown running amok, while the Flash can't handle it by himself. Well, the Flash isn't even there. What the fuck are you doing, Wally? It says it's in 2017, so is this before anything happens to Barry? Because if it's before everything happens to Barry, here's the hint. Here's how it ends: is Wally coming to Rip Hunter coming to ask Wally for help. So if he's off gallivanting through time with Rip Hunter, I understand why he wasn't there. But come on, you gotta be a little more careful with this. Like, I get that they're transferring him over to the show. This is great. I can't wait to see Wally on the show. And yeah, but yeah, just so annoying. So, anyways, that's what I thought of this episode. For a rating, I'd definitely give it a 2.5. It's kind of middle ground for a Legends episode. I still loved it. I love the way they did. The time loop is a dream sequence without it being a real dream sequence. So, but yeah. Anyways, I very much enjoyed it, but it's definitely middle of the road episode. I like that we got to know Zari a lot better, and I like how they're bringing in Kid Flash, Wally West, and they're bringing back Rip Hunter for hopefully a little more this season. All right, as usual, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. All right, I love you guys. See you next time. Bye.